Do you struggle when it comes to influencing and persuading other people? Do you feel like a lot of the techniques, tactics, and strategies that people talk about just seem way too hard to execute, or even worse, they just feel fake or inauthentic to you? Well, if you answered yes to any one of these questions, then sit down and stay tuned because in this video, I'm going to simplify the process of influence and persuasion for you. Hey guys, my name is Paul Macetta, and I am a researcher in the field of human communication, influence, persuasion, salesmanship, NLP. So if you enjoy learning about things like that, then go ahead and consider subscribing. And if you click the link in my description, I will hook you up with a free copy of the sample edition of my book, The Street Persuasion Playbook. So let's jump right into today's video. So I've been researching influence, persuasion, salesmanship, human communication, and human psychology really for the past 20 years. And I've certainly published a lot of content on these topics. And a lot of times the feedback that I get from people is they feel like a lot of it is just way too complicated. Like there are just so many techniques, so many strategies, so many tactics, and lots of them don't really feel authentic to people when they try to execute them. And so today, what I want to do is really go one level up and kind of simplify this for you and show you the way that I think about communication when it comes to influence and persuasion. So the first thing that I always think about is how I'm going to frame the message. And so what I mean by that is I'm never thinking about what is in it for me or how I can get the other person to do what I want them to do and the kind of payoff that I'm going to get if they do what I want them to do and blah, 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 blah. What I think about is what is in it for that person. You see, anytime you're trying to influence, persuade, sell, pitch, convince somebody to do something, obviously there is some benefit in it for you and there's a benefit in it for them. But oftentimes people focus too much on the benefit that is in it for them. And human beings are a self-preserving species. It's in our nature to want to know what is in our best interest anytime we make a decision, especially if someone's trying to influence or persuade us to do something. And so oftentimes, the reason why you have to influence or persuade someone to do something is because they're not quite seeing the benefit that is in it for them, right? Because if they did, you wouldn't have to influence or persuade them. You could just tell them to do it or ask them to do it, and they would happily oblige. And so your job as a communicator is to illustrate and paint the best picture possible, showing them what is in it for them, not what is in it for you. So you need to be thinking about, how do I frame this message in such a way that I'm able to articulate the benefit to that person based on their values, desires, needs, opinions, right? So for example, if I was a car salesman and I was selling a car that had both luxury features and safety features, I would want to know which set of features are more important to my prospect before I start talking about them. So if I had an older gentleman who doesn't have any kids, who's just interested in the latest and greatest technology, then I would focus on the luxury features. But if I had a family man with 3 kids and a wife who's concerned about safety, then I would spend most of my time talking about safety features. You see, I would constantly be thinking about the best way to frame the message so that the person sees the benefit that is in it for them. The second thing that I always think about is the emotional appeal. You see, you have to keep in mind that human beings are emotional creatures. And in most cases, when we make decisions, they are based on emotion primarily. In other words, we make decisions first with our feelings, and then we use logic to justify our decisions. In fact, even the most logical decisions are backed by an emotion. So for example, the logical decision not to run in front of a moving car on the highway is backed by the emotion of fear. The logical decision to invest $1 in something that is going to give you $2 back in return is backed by the emotion of hope that you're going to actually get the payoff that you want. So you need to always be thinking about, how can I emotionally touch this person when I am communicating with them? What are the dominant emotions or feelings that are really driving their decision to say yes or to say no to me? And how do I move them away from the no emotions and closer to the yes emotions? And then the last one, which circles back to the first one, is win-win framing. So I'm always thinking about what is in it for the both of us when I communicate and I make the request. So once again, like, people are not stupid. They know that when you are attempting to influence and persuade them, that there is certainly something in it for you. What you have to do is move their brain away from thinking that if there's something in it for you, that it somehow means that that takes away from something for them. See, a lot of people think that there is a limited amount of resources. They have a scarcity mindset. And so they believe that if there's something in it for you and there's something in it for them, when you get what you want, that might mean that they're getting less of what they want. And so what you want to show them is how it's an equally distributed win-win situation so that they don't feel that aversion to loss and they don't kind of jump into that scarcity mindset. So once again, always think about, how can I frame this conversation in the best way possible? How can I appeal to their emotions? And how can I create a win-win situation? Guys, if you enjoyed this video, go ahead, give me a like, leave me a comment. Would love to hear your feedback. And if you enjoy videos like this, consider subscribing and hit that bell notification so you get updated when I release more videos like this.